All right, what is good, guys? Morning. Welcome to another video of the Per Sources podcast. In this video, we're going to be discussing the recent comments from Terrell Owens regarding San Francisco 49er wide receiver Deebo Samuel. I thought it was interesting just because, Terrell Owens is a 49er great. He's a Hall of Famer, one of the best, probably one of the top 2 to top 3 receivers to ever play the game. And Deebo Samuel is obviously a current, I would say borderline 49er great. I think he has to put up a little bit more years of consistent production to be kind of put in that 49er great grouping, if you could call it that. This year has not been a good one for Deebo Samuel. And personally, yes, my channel is veered towards a lot of Commanders. That's the team that I root for. But I'm also interested in some of the stuff that goes on in the NFL. But this year, Deebo Samuel, I had him in my fantasy. I had to trade him away just because of the lack of production. I think he was like my top 2. I selected him in my top 2 rounds. I think it was the second or third round. But I spent a high pick on Deebo Samuel, and just the production has not been there this year, period, just for the 49ers, not even in a fantasy perspective. I don't think they've gotten the returns that they were hoping for from Deebo Samuel this year. I think he gets paid, $24 million this year that he's making. And unfortunately, it just has not gone his way this season. And so I wanted to get into what did Terrell Owens say? What was his criticism of Deebo Samuel? So I have the quote here. I'm going to read it for you. It says, quote, "Deebo is not really playing up to Deebo standards." Owens said on 95.7, the game in San Francisco, "It seems like he's more focused on his pregame attire than the game. If we can shift that focus, maybe that can energize and create some more production from an offensive standpoint. I'm just being tongue-in-cheek with that." So, I completely agree with Terrell Owens there and his criticism of Deebo Samuel. It just looks like Deebo has his head somewhere else or his focus somewhere else. As far as his pregame attire, we all know how football players are today. They really focus on that, and that's okay. That's cool. But I think if you're going to do that, the production should come along with it, because if not, you open yourself up to this type of criticism. And it's not just anybody saying it. It's T.O., like I said, one of the greatest of all times to ever do it, and one of the the greats of the 49er franchise. He's made some incredible catches, had some incredible games with the 49ers. I think he still holds the record for the most receptions in a game as a 49er in that goodbye game for Jerry Rice where Terrell Owens went off. And so, I just wanted to go over Deebo Samuel's stats for this year. And then we're also going to take a look at some of his attires to see, what Terrell Owens is speaking about. Because for T.O. to specifically point out Deebo's attire, it just goes to show that he's been noticing some stuff from Deebo and the way he comes dressed to the game. So this year, Deebo Samuel's 2024 season, he has, receiving yards 490, and I think we're going into week 12. Receptions 33, receiving touchdowns only 1. Yeah, that's not good, guys. That is not good, especially if you're getting paid $24 million. That is not good at all. You have receivers like Terry McLaurin, who's making not a lot less, but I would say substantially less than Deebo, who has been putting up a lot more numbers and has scored more touchdowns. That's just one example. It seems like Brandon Jennings, whenever he does play for the 49ers, he overtakes Deebo in kind of the target share and stuff like that. He's looked more often to. He's looked more often to by Purdy. So There's other receivers out there. I would say at this point, who is it? Darnell Mooney from the Falcons, who is really a number two target in that team, has had a bigger impact. Drake London in the Falcons has had a bigger impact. And the list just goes on and on and on. That receiver from the Chargers, McConkey, I think is his name, has had a bigger impact this year. And that rookie wide receiver from the Jaguars has had a bigger impact than Deebo Samuel this year. And I can just keep naming off names that have had a bigger impact than Deebo this year, who are getting paid way less than him. But we all know what Deebo Samuels is. We all know what he can do. We all know that if he's on the right track, right from mind, he performs and can dominate games. I do think this year, just seeing some of his game tape in the games, and then some of like when he's warming up and stuff like that, I think he is out of shape this year. He has a belly on him. Some of y'all might say he's always had it, but I think this year's his belly is more. What would you say? I don't know how to say it, but more full. Like it's more noticeable. Really, is what I'm trying to say than before. So I don't know what he did in the offseason. Hey, it's his priority what he does or doesn't do. So yeah, I think. Let me see. As of right now, he only has one rushing touchdown, and that has to have come earlier in the season. Because I remember when I had him in my fantasy. And so, let me see. Let's compare to his 2023 stats. So 2023, he had games played 15, 60 receptions, receiving yards 892, receiving touchdowns 7. That's a big drop this year compared to last year. Excuse me. You can see the drop off. I mean, we're on week 12, so he has some games to make it up. But I just the way the season's going, I don't see it there. But I also did want to speak to y'all about what Terrell Owens is talking about, and this is exactly what T.O. is talking about. This is Deebo Samuel arriving before, I believe, the Buccaneers game. I mean, the man just looks sus as hell. I don't know who the hell told him this is a good look. I mean, some of these players think what they think is fashionable is just ridiculous. That's just my opinion. And so you could tell he put a lot of thought into that outfit, and that's where the criticism comes from T.O. So what do y'all think? Do y'all agree with T.O.? Is T.O. just being a hater? Or is he dead on, accurately analyzing Deebo Samuel's 2024 season? Let me know.